Welcome back to Live Courageous podcast. If you're new here, this is Courageous Podcast. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for joining us. And for the ones that have been listening to us, thank you for joining us and living courageously every day. Today's theme is something that we all have struggles with. It is the power of no. For many of us, we feel like if we say no, it is unkind, selfish, or even scary. But in reality, no one can even know the most courageous word that you speak is no. Again, have you ever found yourself overwhelmed because you can't say no? This conversation is for you and for me too. So we're going to explore some reasons why we really will not want to say no, and we avoid that word no. We like to people please. We want to be liked. We have the fear of disappointing others, and then a fear of missing opportunities. How many times have you said yes when really you want to say no and instantly you feel like, I should have said no? Every yes is something, and it's also a no. To say no to someone else would also help you with your health, your peace, and your priorities. I'm going to tell you a personal story. For some of you, you know I am an entrepreneur, and I do assist individuals with different tasks, such as being a fiduciary, which is taking care of their money. And so I'm responsible for caring for those individuals. And that's with food, the rental, clothing, anything that they need, I am the responsible person. So I have several different individuals I care for in that capacity. But one in particular, again, I've done this for a couple of years now, and for a while for free, okay? And I do a lot of these chores, I call them chores, but happy chores, free. So recently, I am responsible again for getting, the housing and the food and all of these things for this particular individual. And he is grateful. I would say he's very grateful, okay? But no sooner, just recently, he gets upset with me and I am no good, stealing his money, all of the adjectives that they can give you because you do not say yes to their need is what's happening. And again, his needs are met. It's just the extra stuff, okay? And so I had to sit back because this is a word that I've really had struggle with, the word no. Have you ever thought to yourself when you are 2 years old, 3, the toddler stages? The word that we used a lot back then was no. So have you ever thought, why did that shift when you become an adult? I had to do some retrospective thinking. And again, I've said to people please, you want to be liked, all of that. Again, when they like you, they like you. When they don't like you, they don't like you. And so that's my situation. So I had to really ponder on my boundaries, okay? So recently I had to sit back and say, because this individual wanted everything, and whenever he asked for something, I'm doing it on the spot. I'm very reliable. He would say that, you really take care of me. You take care of me better than my family. I appreciate those words. But again, when you get mad, I'm everything under the sun, okay? And so I've had to tell myself, okay, I'm going to put these boundaries in place. And this individual actually calls me 10, 11, 12, 13 times a day. And I respond sometimes, But I just told myself, like yesterday, today, that I'm going to just saying no. Just start saying no. And this is a word I had to practice earlier this year. And I had a conversation with my son. So I will stand in the mirror. If you've never done this, it feels weird, but it works. So I stood in the mirror earlier this year and I said, my word is no, because I say yes to so many things. And sometimes I get so burnt out. I'm tired, but I don't complain. I just keep doing it because I feel like I'm helping someone. We as caregivers, we always want to help. We are always in the move, okay? And so I stood in the mirror and I said, say no. And I stood there and I started saying no. I had to practice the words and I had to frame my lips just right. I said, no. And I've done it so many times. My son had a conversation with me yesterday. He said, Mama, you said no more than yeses anymore. I said, really? That's something I worked on earlier this year. And he says, Mama, you said no to everything. You wouldn't let me drive your truck. You said no to cooking. I said, wow, the power of no. So it kind of took me back. We can train ourselves. We can train ourselves to do the right thing when you won't feel so tensed up. You know, people will put pressure on you, but you don't know if it's, the pressure of others until you stop to pay attention. And I had those happen a couple weeks ago. And so with that said, what you want to do is don't cost yourself your health or anything that you value because you want to please others and you say yes all the time. So when you finally say no, you will feel free. And I've noticed that shift in my life pattern. Again, no isn't rejection, it's just redirection. Again, saying no with clarity opens the door to what truly matters. No is not selfish, it's not rude or weakness. No is protection, keeping your priorities intact. It's direction, guiding your energy to the right things. It's freedom, creating a margin that truly matters. Our quote for today is, every no creates space for a better yes. Think about that. You can get a lot done to the unnecessary things if you say no to them and say yes to the things that you need to get done. I'm going to give you 3 practical ways for you to say no with courage and grace. You're going to pause before answering. Don't rush to say yes. Be clear and kind. No, I can't do this right now, but I can help you out later. But don't give a broad explanation. Sometimes we go into a lengthy explanation why we can't really help people. And that was me. I just feel like they needed to know so they can let me off the hook, I guess, And again, offer boundaries or alternatives. I can't do this, but I will do this for you in due time. Again, this is going to help with your work, your family, your leadership situations. It can apply anywhere in your life. For you listening today, ask yourself this. Where do you need to say no in your life right now? This is a challenge. This week, the one word intentionally you need to use to protect your peace, to protect your time and your calling is no. I'm going to encourage you. You'll be surprised just this week how much courage and freedom that comes with that one word. Again, we're going to do a recap. No isn't selfish. No is courageous. No creates space for your better yes. Again, this is Live Courageous Podcast, and my name is Musudeen. Thank you for listening.